name is Alexander Eiffe. I'm a partner here at AG Linett Associates. I primarily, almost solely focus on immigration law, which I've been doing since 2012. I'm barred in Pennsylvania and barred in North Carolina, a couple other federal districts. So I went into law school because I had a philosophy major, and it actually lends itself pretty naturally to things like law school. It tends to teach you to think really logically, and I always enjoy that intellectual challenge. And law school seemed like a good fit, and I actually really enjoyed it. I had more fun my first semester in law school, my first year in law school, than I actually did my last year in college. I have a long history with immigration because I am in fact an immigrant myself. I was born in Bogota, Colombia, and I was adopted when I was just a baby. So actually a year or two ago, I found my birth mother online through Facebook. So I started talking to some of her friends and just people who had the same last name as her, and I found her nephew and said, hey, I'm looking for a person who had a child in Bogota on this date or around this date in 1985, and actually found her. So I got a chance to go back and visit and meet her, and found out that I have two other sisters. So that was a really neat experience. On top of that, I also have an adopted sister, and my wife was born in Uzbekistan, in Tashkent, so I had the chance to do her paperwork as well. So she is an immigrant, and then we also helped her mom immigrate to the United States, who now has her green card and lives with us. For immigration, it would be talk to an attorney, because a lot of times people have things that they can do that they were not aware of, or maybe they really don't have any form of relief or anything that they can do, but it's better to know that. So in all situations where a person interacts with immigration or the law, it's just better to know what your options, so you can enter everything with your eyes wide open and make informed decisions. Because without that information, everything is just guesswork and more dangerous. We do an awful lot of cases. So not any specific cases, but there was one where I was attending a naturalization interview with one client. And after we had finished that, sometime around 1 o'clock, 1:30, at 2 o'clock, there was going to be a naturalization oath ceremony, which is where somebody takes the oath and becomes a US citizen. So I actually happened to see one of our other clients who was there, and then got to attend their naturalization ceremony. And it was neat to see that person stand up and be in front of their family and take the oath and become a US citizen. So that was really neat because we did the adjustment of status. Later on, she became a citizen, and then eventually helped her parents to get status themselves. So it tends to show how immigration can sometimes go from one person to the next person and help to keep families together. I would definitely encourage people to come and talk to either our firm or honestly any firm, because again, knowing your rights and knowing what your options are, whether you're in North Carolina, whether you're in this area, it is always in your best interest to get good advice from people who are actually attorneys. So not notarios, not somebody who just got your mother's brother's mailman their papers. An actual attorney that you can verify with the state bar is licensed and knows what they're talking about, because immigration is immensely complicated. Next to the US tax system, there's not that much that's more complicated than the US immigration system, particularly now because it's changing constantly with executive orders and interpretations of case law, and it's a monumental task just to stay on top of all of that. But you want an immigration attorney who is doing that so that you can know what your rights are and what you can pursue when you talk to them. You just want to know you can trust the advice that you're getting, and you can do that here.